Hi everyone! So today we're going to talk about PHP cookies and sessions. Okay, so the session in cookies are used by different websites for storing users' data across different pages of the site. Both session in cookies can hold data for a longer amount of time depending on its setting. Okay, so both session and cookies are important as they keep track of the information provided by a user or by a visitor for different purposes. So basically, the main difference between both of them is that sessions are saved on the server side, whereas cookies are saved on the user's browser or client side. Okay? So let's try to know more on details about what is cookie. So a cookie is a small text file that is stored on the user's computer. So the maximum file size of a cookie is 4 KB, and then basically the information stored within cookies is not secured because this information is stored in text format on the client side, which can be read by anyone. Okay guys, so if you intend guys to store some data, sensitive data to a cookies, then don't do that. So yung ilalagay lang natin sa cookies is yung mga data na hindi sensitive. Okay. So ano-ano ba yung mga sensitive data? Okay, kagaya ng username, yung email, sabi natin yung phone number nyo, yung pangalan nyo, yung employee number. So those are just samples na kung saan mga sensitive data. Then, on that way, we're not going to use cookie. So there are other way na kung saan much secure. So later on, I'm going to discuss that one kung ano yon. Okay? So cookies are saved on the user's browser or client side. Okay guys? So the cookies help the websites to keep track of the user's browsing history. Okay, so we have here some scenario kung saan ba natin pwede magamit yung cookies. Okay, so first is we have here a user visit an online shopping website and add some items into the cart. However, she realized that she don't have the budget yet to buy those items. Thus, she decided to leave the website. Then after a few days, the user already have the budget or the enough budget and tried to visit the online shopping website again. When she visit the cart page, all the items that she had selected before was still there. And now, she proceed on buying the items. So basically, saan ba natin ginamit yung cookies dito? So we use cookies here on the part of adding the item into the cart. Yung cart na mismo. Okay, so ano ba yung nangyayari behind the scene? Every time we add an item, it will try to store that data na item na pinili natin into the cart, or I mean into the cookie, and then we try to grab the cookie to display the items na kung saan yun ang makikita ng user. Okay? So that's one of the example guys kung saan natin pwede magamit yung cookie. So we also have scenario 2. Okay, so a user visit a website wherein it has feature that a user can select its prepared language. So the default language was English, but the user decided to change it into French. Then after a few days, the user visit the website and the language that was set was still in French. So paano to nangyari? So basically, when the user select the language, yung language na pinili niya, inilagay natin sa cookie. Okay, para yung web application malalaman niya ano ba yung piniling language ng user. So, hahanapin ko nga sa cookie. Oh, ito yung latest na pinili niya, yung French. So, that's the thing na na-display niya after revisiting yung website, yung language na French. Okay? So, another sample or scenario, which is the number 3. So, the user visit YouTube, then try to search for a songs or let's say some movies or videos and listen to it. Then the next day, he tried to visit the YouTube again and noticed that the default videos that were displayed in the homepage were similar to the songs he searched or played before. Okay, so I'm sure naka-experience na kayo ng mga ganong situation, guys, na kung saan yung mga napanood nyong videos before, nadi-display na siya sa homepage or mga related videos on what you have watched or played before. Okay? Okay. So now let's try to talk about sa session. Ano ba yung sinasabing session? So a session is used to temporarily store the information on the server to be used across multiple pages of the website. So the user information is stored in session variables, and these variables can store any type of value or data type of an object. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? So, pwede tayong mag-store ng string, integer, even arrays in a session. Unlike sa cookie, yung pwede lang nating ma-store sa kanya is in a form of string. Okay? So, session values are much secured as these are stored in binary form or encrypted form and can only be decrypted at the server. So, ito yung sinasabi kong kanina, yung secure way of storing data for temporary, which is yung session. So, it can be used as an alternative to cookies for browsers that don't support cookies to store variables in a more secure way. Okay? Then sessions are stored or saved on the server side. Okay, guys? Okay, so we also have some scenario on the part of the session, although it can be an alternative naman to cookies. So, this is the first scenario natin. So, when a user is required to log in a web application to view its account. So, basically, most of the web application naman na ginagawa natin require a login form. So, paano malalaman ng system kung sino yung nag-login or yung currently login? We can use session. So, anong ilalagay natin sa session? Most probably, we can put yung user ID, or yung username, or yung email, o di kaya yung pangalan nyo. So, those data na na-mention ko, those are sensitive data. Okay? So, since sensitive siya, that's why we are going to use session. Okay, guys? So, another thing is yung sa notification. So, notification or alert message after the form was submitted or an action was taken. Okay? So, yung mangyayari dito, yung session dito, yung parang sinasabi nating one-time session lang. We try to set yung message or yung status ng process in a session. Once ma-execute na natin yung process na yan and display an alert message, then we need to remove that session. So, ito yung sinasabing flash data o di kaya flash session. Okay, guys? So, we can also use that for notification or alert messages. Okay? Okay, so coding time na tayo. Now, let's start at the PHP cookie. So, create cookies with PHP. So a cookie is created with the set cookie function. So syntax niya is ganito: set cookie, name, value, expire, both, path, domain, secure, and HTTP only. So those are parameters. So the name parameter, of course, the name of the cookie. Then the second parameter, the value of the cookie. This value is stored on the client's computer. So do not store sensitive information. Okay? Then expires. So the time when the cookie expires, and it is specified in seconds. So to set the expiration for about 30 days, pwedeng ganito o di kaya ganito. So this time function, this will retrieve the current time, and then this process naman, this will indicate for a day kasi 60 seconds times 60 minutes times 24. So it will within a day. Then times mo by 30, then 30 days na siya. Or you can have this one. Yung time plus 86,400 times 30. So it will result for 1 day. 30 days. So it's up to you kung how long yung cookies will last on your computer or browser. Okay? If set to 0 or omitted, the cookie will expire at the end of the session when the browser closes. Okay? Okay, path. So the path on the server is in which the cookie will be available on. So if set to slash, the cookie will be available within the entire domain. If set to slash page slash, so ito yung page, this is the available directory on your server. Then the cookie will only be available within the page directory and all sub directories. Okay, so the default value in the current directory that the cookie is being set. Okay, so usually yung ginagamit ko dito is yung slash para it can be accessible within the entire domain. Okay? Setting this to a subdomain, such as yung www.example.com, will make the cookie available to that subdomain and all other subdomains of it. So to make the cookie available to the whole domain, including all subdomains of it, simply set the value to the domain name, which is yung example.com lang. Okay, so optional lang naman siya, guys. So you can just leave that one. So for the secure, it's also optional, which indicates that the cookie should only be transmitted over a secure HTTPS connection from the client. When set to true, the cookie will only be set if the secure connection exists. On the server side, it's on the programmer to send this kind of cookie only on the secure connection. With the respect to $_ HTTPS. Okay? So for the HTTP only parameter, which is also optional, when set to true, the cookie will be made accessible only through the HTTP protocol. This means that the cookie won't be accessible by scripting languages such as JavaScript. It has been suggested that this setting can effectively help to reduce identity theft through the XSS attacks. So although it is not supported by all browsers. Okay? Okay, so return value. So this is a good thing, guys. Whatever kind of functions, guys, if you're trying to use functions in PHP or whatever programming languages, it is important to know yung mga parameters and the return values. Kagaya nito. So if the output exists prior to calling this function, set cookie will fail and return false. If set cookie successfully runs, it will return true. Okay, so this does not indicate whether the user accepted the cookie. So saan ba natin ito magagamit? For example, guys, hindi nag-work yung pag-set mo ng cookie and it return false. So you can say if set cookie, then mga parameter, if it return false, then you can run another process. Like, for example, you're going to store the data sa session instead of cookie. Sa session mo na lang ilalagay. Okay? So, that's why it is important for us guys to know yung mga parameters at saka yung mga return values. So that we can manage yung mga processes based on the return value. Okay? Okay, so now let's try to know how to create or retrieve a cookie. Okay, so basically sa part ng pag-create, we're going to use yung cookie, set cookie function. So just a note guys, every time we're trying to use this function, it should be run before any HTML codes. Okay, otherwise, I'm not sure if it caused some error, but based on some rules, it should be run before any HTML tags. Okay, so the first parameter is the user, the cookie name, which is yung nalagay ko is user. Then the second is the value. Dito yung expire. So this will took about a month. So it will expire after a month. And then yung path niya is slash, in which it will be available for the entire domain. And then dito naman, I try to check this cookie. This is how we basically retrieve a cookie. $, underscore, cookie, yung capital lahat. And then open close, square bracket, and then yung cookie name, which is yung user. So dito, yung ginawa ko, I try to check. I try to use basically this asset function. So this asset function, guys, is a built-in function of PHP that tries to check if the function, or I mean if the variable exists or declared or defined. So yung ginawa ko dito ganito, I try to check if nakaset ba yung cookie. If not set, so sabi dito, if not as set, then I'm going to display this one. Na cookie name, which is user, is not yet set. Pero kung nakaset na siya, then I'm going to display this one. Cookie name, which is user, is set. Value is yung value, which is yung Raymond M. Dailo. So this is how we try to retrieve. Okay, $, underscore cookie, square bracket, and then yung cookie name. Okay guys? So if we try to run that code, then ito na yung magiging output. Cookie user is set. Value is Raymond M. Dailo. So it will last for 1 month, yung cookie na yan. So once we try to return to that application, even let's say after 25 days, we can still access that one. Kasi 30 days yung parang allowance na binigay natin sa cookie na yan. Okay, now, paano naman yung pag-modify ng cookie? So, madali lang. Same process. This is yung code natin kanina. All we need to do is to update yung value. So, once you do that, na-update na natin yung value and run the code, from this point, then, magiging ganito na siya. Okay? So, that's how we try to update a value of a cookie. Okay, now let's try to talk about on how to delete a cookie. So basically, this is how we set the cookie, and then naglagay lang ako dito ng if statement to check if the cookie still exists and kung deleted na ba siya. So ito yung current output natin. Cookie user still exists. So, okay. So, dito, sabihin natin this particular part was done on a different page of our application. And, basically, it will last for about 30 days. So, if you want to delete that cookie, all we need to do is to set the expiration date in the past. Okay? So, set cookie, yung cookie name natin, which is user. And then, you can set the value to empty. And dito, we need to make sure that the date is in the past. Like for example, this one time minus yung 30 days natin. On that way, if we set that one, then madidelete na yung cookie. But kung ilalagay mo lang dyan is for about, sabihin natin, time minus yung 1 day. Therefore, having the expiration allowance of 30 days minus 1 day, therefore 29 days pa, hindi pa rin siya expire. So, to make sure na ma-expire siya is, let's try to know ilang days ba yung nakaset dito. Then, yun din ang ilalagay natin sa expiration in a form of negative para mag-deduct siya sa current time. It will minus. Okay, it will subtract to the current time. So, if you try to run the code, from this current output na kung saan na-exist pa yung user cookie natin, then now, the user cookie will be deleted na. Okay? Okay, so now let's try to talk about PHP Session. Start a PHP session. So a session is started with the session start function. Okay? So session variables are set with the PHP global variable, which is the $_session. So note, so the session start function must be very first thing in your document before any HTML tags. Okay? And another one, guys, session start should be included for the entire web application, especially if you're going to use session on that particular page. Okay? So PHP session expiration. So typically the default value of the expiration time of session is 24 minutes or 1440 seconds. Now, if you intend to change that one into a smaller or a bigger one, then all you need to do is to set the value of the server configuration or the relevant directives, which is the session.gc_max lifetime that can be found in PHP INI. So hanapin nyo lang to and then set the value kung ilang seconds ba yung gusto nyong mag-last yung isang session. Okay? Okay, so let's try to know how to create or retrieve session. So, madali lang guys. First, of course, we need to call the function session start and then set the session. Kagaya nito. So, if you are familiar with associative array, halos the same yung approach niya. So, we just need to call yung PHP global variable of session, which is the $_session. Then, let's set yung ano yung magiging session name or key or index niya. And then, of course, yung value. Same thing with the last name or yung L name. Then, to retrieve naman the value, ganito lang. So, halos the same. Wala lang equal. So, kasi yung equal is more on assigning. Now, if we want to display the value of that session, then we just need to call that particular variable with an index, appropriate index. Kagaya nito, I try to retrieve here yung first name and then dito naman yung last name. Okay, so let's try to run that one. So, ganito na yung magiging output niya. First name is Raymond, last name is Dilo. Okay? Okay, so paano naman tayo magmo-modify ng session value? So, to modify, madali lang. So, having this current code, let's try to update lang yung value niya. Then, once that happen, then from this current output, refresh lang natin, then mapapalitan na yung output natin. So, that's how we try to modify the value of a session. So, paano naman yung pag-delete ng session? Okay, so I try to set muna dito yung pinalitan ko yung session key natin, which is user, and then yung pangalan ko dito. So dito, I try to check if nakaset ba yung value na to. If nakaset, then di-display ko to, user still exists. If not, then user is already deleted. So, run natin yan. So, currently, still exists pa siya. And then, yung gagawin natin ganito. So, there are two ways kung paano. So, if you want to delete a specific session data, you just need to do this. You just need to call the unset, okay, unset function of PHP, then call the specific session data using its index or yung key session niya. Okay, which is user. So once you do that, that specific session data will be deleted. Now, if you plan to destroy or to delete all the session data, then ito naman yung function yung tatawagin natin. So session destroy. Yun lang. After that, deleted na siya. So usually, ginagamit ko to, ito yung mga ganito, for logout. Okay? Yung session destroy. Kasi I want all the session to be destroyed. Gusto kong mawala yung lahat ng session on the application na ginawa ko. So basically, sa mga logout functionality, ko siya ginagamit. Okay? So once i-run natin yung code na yan, so from the current output, then refresh natin, then yan na yung magiging result. Okay, so now let's try to have a recall on what we have learned on this particular topic, which is the PHP cookies and sessions. Okay, so for the cookies part, so basically natutunan natin kung paano ba yung pag-create, pag-modify, and also pag-delete ng isang cookie using the setCookie function. And then, to retrieve the cookie, ito naman yung gagamitin natin. Yung $_cookie PHP global variable. So, it will just in a form of para siyang associative array. Okay? Then, for the session, so we also learned how to use session start, where we should put those things or place that particular function. Then we also learn about on how to create, modify, and retrieve session using this PHP global variable, which is the $_session. And then for deleting a session, so if you want to specifically delete a session, you can use yung unset. Or if you want to delete all the sessions, you can use the session destroy function. Okay? Okay, so I think that's it, guys. So I hope you learned something new today regarding our topic, which is about cookies and sessions. So if you did, please click thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified if there are new videos that we're going to upload. Okay, guys, so just like I always say, just keep practicing and never stop learning. Thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye for now.